Prepare to get gassed because it's time for the Week in Gear. This week, Harley Benton get modern and Fender keep their promise. This show is sponsored by guitar auctions at Gardner Holgate. More about them in a little bit. Now, let's kick off this week's most exciting guitar gear releases with that promise from Fender. The Fender Tonemaster Pro was released with huge hype, and indeed I was a part of that. And when I released my very positive review of this multi-effects all-in-one amp replacement didgeridoo thingy-me-bobber-me, it was the condition that Fender consistently update the system that I really got stuck on. And I really wanted Fender to support the Tonemaster Pro like Kemper have for over 10 years now. So that was the caveat that I had for giving it a good review. Well, the good news is that Fender have done exactly that with a new firmware update. Now, I'm aware that this might be a bit boring for some people, but stick with me. The biggest addition is the Fender Control app for both iOS and Android, which means remote control via Bluetooth for not only editing, but also sharing presets and downloading tones from the 1,000-strong Fender community. You can also now store backups onto SD card, very important if you rely on the Tonemaster Pro for gigging, and there are now 4 new amps, 8 new cabs, and 9 new effects, including the big Apple fuzz. If you own a Tonemaster Pro, this is a no-brainer download, and you should go and do it straight away. But if you're still Tonemaster curious, it might be time to take another look at this digital solution. Have you ever wanted a Firebird but figured it was just too big and had too many strings? Well, you're in luck because Epiphone have just reissued the Mandobird in vintage sunburst. No, this is not a guitar, this is a 4-string electric mandolin with a reverse Firebird NATO wood body, a bolt-on mahogany neck with trapezoid inlays, a reverse Firebird style headstock with Grover tuners, and very strangely, but very welcome, a full-size Firebird pickup. This reissue is a slightly more authentic Firebird and a slightly less authentic mandolin, but it actually looks to be built better than the 2011 version. And I mean authentic there with zero hint of sarcasm, just to be clear. I love Firebird guitars, they're one of my favorite shapes, and I've never owned one. And I think this is going to appeal to a lot of guitar players as well as mandolin players, and possibly even bass players. Anyway, because it's only got 4 strings, it should be really easy to learn the simple mandolin shape for the chords and even melody lines. This is just one of those instruments that seems fun. In fact, it screams fun. And fun comes at a price, of course. And the price of this new Mandobird is around 400 notes, which is not throwaway play money. By far, it's a serious chunk of change. But this is a price point that I will support Epiphone on. Hides for cover. Ducks. Goes away from comments section. It comes with a very sturdy looking gig bag, but at that price, I would have loved a glued in or even neck through. Ooh, purely for the aesthetics, which are on the back that no one will ever see. So I'll quit moaning. It's fine how it is. You know, I can have wants and needs. I do, however, see a lot of trigger-happy guitar players buying these instantly, FOMO, and getting over the novelty pretty quickly. So I personally will be looking for a used one in about 6 months. And if I could pick one of these up for, say, 200 to 250 notes, I'd be a very happy boy indeed. And if you do buy one and then figure out that you don't want it anymore, you know where I am. Before we get to number 3 on the list, it's now time to talk about this week's sponsor, guitar auctions at Gardner Holgate. That was a bit weird when I did that. Don't skip this part because guitarauctions.co.uk have some very exciting gear coming up in their new listings, and it's great to have them back as a sponsor. There are 4 complete days of guitar auctions that you can bid on in person in Bath, UK, or online live, which is what I'll be doing. It starts on the 11th of June, which is the Artists Associated Guitars and Memorabilia Day, with artists such as Bernie Marsden. And on that day, you can bid on Bernie Marsden's actual Marshall Governor pedal. On the 12th of June, they have the main guitar auction. And on that day, they've got some really cool, quirky stuff. And one of my favorites is this 1964 Burns TR2, which is going to go for between £500 and £800. The 13th of June is when you'll find the amps, pedals, and other stuff, such as this 1987 Super Feedbacker and Distortion from Boss. And the 14th is where they auction the antique and classical guitars. You can register to bid by going to the website and clicking Live Bidding. And regardless of where in the world you live, Guitar Auctions at Gardner Holgate will assist you with shipping, and that works super smoothly. I know this because I've bid on guitars in the past and managed to tick some off my bucket list. And I will be bidding on some this time around, which I'm not going to share with you. But maybe you can take a guess and have a look yourself by checking out the catalogue, which is online at guitar-auctions.co.uk. On with the show! Welcome back! And this is the part where I say, if you're enjoying this weekly show and use it to have fun and be informed, consider that subscribe button and the thumbs up so that more people get to see it in the future and the show grows and we all have more fun. Thank you! The Lizard King from Electro Harmonics takes the octave fuzz circuit from the Lizard Queen and optimizes it for bass. Doesn't mean that it can't be used on guitar though, because 𝗦𝗨𝗏𝗪𝗧 not only made one of the best sound demo videos I've ever heard on bass, he then puts guitar through it and he nails that as well. And I now hate him as much as love everything that man does. Anyway, back to the pedal. There's a blend knob, so you can go from 100% clean to 100% fuzz, which is absolutely necessary if you're using this on bass. There's a tone control. You can also blend in the octave, and there's a sun and shadow toggle, which is a switch that goes from brighter to darker for the octave. All of this fits into a standard EHX nano-sized pedal and comes in at the very pocket-friendly price of about 130 notes. Now, I don't feature much bass content on my channel, but I do love playing bass, and fuzz bass is one of my favorite types of fuzz and bass. But I'm thinking this could be used on down-tuned guitars and baritones, so I'll be looking to check one of these out in the very near future. At that price, you could easily pick one up if you just want to jam with yourself for a little bit, but don't expect to sound like 𝗦𝗨𝗏𝗪𝗧. It truly is the Lizard King. Ibanez have snuck a bit under the radar with some new releases, and not only is there a new Tom Quayle model available, there's also a hint of a new Tim Henson model just around the corner. My number 2, however, is the Ibanez RGR5130 Prestige in khaki metal. Prestige means made in Japan, and with a fairly high price tag, but hopefully with specs to match it. And I love Japanese-made guitars. This Ibanez RG comes with 24 jumbo stainless steel frets on a bound 16-inch radius ebony fretboard. The bolt-on neck is a Super Wizard HP, and that's 5-piece, which is maple, wenge, maple, wenge, maple. The body is basswood or basswood. No, I'm sticking with basswood. I forgot which one I preferred then. There's also a low pro edge bridge locking nut and 2 ceramic Fishman Fluence modern humbuckers. So yes, those specs should really deliver. But the thing that got me is the color. I know that is a ridiculous thing for a guitar that costs around 2,000 notes, but I have a big thing for olive drab, or khaki metallic, as Ibanez call it, or cocky metallic, as my iPhone calls it when I talk to Siri about it. And that is something completely different. Now, I've been gassing after an RG for quite some time, ever since I sold my RG350 like the penniless fool that I used to be. And the way I see it is that if you're going to go for an RG, you have to get one that's the right color for you. And I know that is the wrong way to choose a guitar, but be honest, you've done it. You've done it, and you're probably even doing it right now. And I don't mean to be flippant about the pricing, but I think this guitar would actually make me play better, because that's the thing, right? Anyway, if the khaki green is not the color for you, it's also available in gray metallic, which is very classy looking and very blue looking Ibanez. But for me, I'm done myself with the Ibanez version of olive drab green.
Andy's Pick of the Week.
My pick of the week goes to the highly spec'd new range from Harley Benton. The Harley Benton ST Modern Plus range is a step up from entry-level Strats, quite a few steps up actually, and has some of the most beautiful necks I've ever seen on a guitar. I really hope they're not just reserved for the promotional pictures. The bodies are made of American alder, and the bolt-on 𝗬𝗎𝗪 profile neck is Canadian roasted flame maple. The fretboards are either laurel or Canadian maple, but both have rounded edges, which is a lovely attention to detail, and I am somewhat of a detail hunter. There are actually quite a lot of specs to list here that set this range of guitars aside from other guitars in or around that price range, because it's not just another budget Strat. And if you're fishing for specs, they've got stainless steel frets, fluorescent neck markings, compound radius fretboard, Tesla pickups, and a Babbage 2-point tremolo. I think I said that right? Babbage? Is that how you're saying it? Babbage. I'm a Babbage. Is that? Let me know. Thank you. Or maybe the comments are over there now. YouTube, it depends on what you're watching this on. On your phone, probably. Please wash your hands. These Harley Bentons might have the best specs I've actually ever seen on guitars at this price point. And that price point is €399 for the flat finishes and 449 finishes for those flame bursts. But the flame bursts don't really do it for me. I'm a flat guy forever. Also, you might have noticed that the specs on these look very similar to that ST-182, the Tom DeLonge Fender not Fender that I saw at Guitar Summit last year. And those were absolutely phenomenal guitars. And I know a lot of you have been asking, when is that Blink-182 Harley Benton coming? I don't know. And also, I now don't care, because we've got this. And I think this is better. Also, if this is $399 and they do release the ST-182, that's got to be less than $389, right? Good news. Anyway, I really hope the quality control is up to scratch on these, because sometimes they're not. And if it is, then they're going to make some people very happy. And they certainly have, because they've sold a lot of them already. My personal favorite is the Lake Placid Blue, but I think if you're looking for a very affordable but very well-spec'd guitar, you'd be an absolute fool not to take a look at these. Right, thank you to the wonderful people that support this show on Patreon. They are responsible for you getting delivered this nonsense every week. Their names are on screen now. Also responsible for bringing this show to you are the lovely ones showing their support right here on YouTube, and their names are coming up on the screen right now. They're still there. Now, if you're thinking, Andy, how do I get my name up on that screen? Or maybe how do I get you to read my name out? All you have to do is click the join button right here on YouTube, or visit my Patreon link in the video description. And I always feel uncomfortable saying that, but I have to say it. It's your choice. You can enjoy the show without doing anything, just so you know. Or leave a thumbs up, or open a door for an old person or something, or stroke a lonely-looking dog. I don't mind, but do something nice. Anyway, here's a special thanks to the top tier members, which I will read out in one breath. Here we go. Josh Tamberg, Sarang Narayan, Southern Panda 33, Andrew Morgan, Dustin Bonney, Gary O'Neill, Doug Paget, Alinta Boston, Boom Shakalaka, Dirk. This prank is officially sponsored by Jason Welch, Buzzle, Michael Lerner, Buddha Blue, Hugh G. Rection. No! Pop's Place, April Kurtz, and Johnny McBadminton. think I went a bit red in the face there. Thank you, top tier members. Ooh, breathe. Now, go and check out the online catalogue at Guitar Auctions from Gardner Holgate, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye! Still here! I'm back again.